Sounded like a midnight yell practice out there. How do y'all get a hold of all that stuff?
Heck, I don't know. I don't know where they get all that stuff. I guess YouTube or internet or something. But that's just what you got to do. You know, if you're going to go play in, there's nothing better than loud football. First of all, you know, I've been in a lot of quiet football games. You talk about boring. I like loud football. And we have loud football at home every time, and our defense has to be able to play and communicate and line up and get the signals, and that's like every week. So now our offense gets that opportunity. So you try to really prepare them best you can. I mean, you just got to be able to, put them in that situation in practice. So, and we try to make it a little unrealistic, to be honest with you, just so you got to really lock in and focus. I thought they were great today. I thought we had a really good practice, much better than yesterday. Very focused. Really a good edge on both sides. Had a lot of competitiveness out there today. Finished with a little 2-minute drill, but tomorrow's a big day for us. I mean, at this point forward, it kind of becomes mental. We're allowed to dot the I's across the T's tomorrow and clean some stuff up and load it all up on Friday and head to Texas.
I'm sure that you're on the headsets, though, during the games. What's the loudest that you can remember hearing in the stadium?
I mean, right here at Death Valley. I've been a part of some loud ones, and I've been on the road at a bunch of loud ones. Been all over the place. I've been to College Station. It's one of the loudest in the country. I've been to LSU, been to Tennessee, Auburn. I've been everywhere. But that's just kind of part of it. To be honest, when you get in the game, though, your headset-wise, you're just kind of really locked into what you're doing. And but we're fortunate because we do play here, and we know what noise sounds like. But again, it's just usually the other side of the ball that's having to function in it.
Coach, it's been the status quo now. You guys playing at night games, Saturday night prime time, and you got your regimented patterns, the way you keep the team in focus. How do you keep them focused with game day and all that stuff going on that long afternoon? You've done it many times before, but explain to us again, how do you keep that team focused with all that time to themselves?
Well, we have a routine, and that doesn't change, whether you're playing Furman at noon or on game day at night. We have the only thing that changes is our game day routine. That's we have a noon routine, a 3:30 routine, a night game routine. That's a little different on game day, but everything else is exactly the same. We don't do anything different, and I think that creates confidence and consistency in your performance and your preparation. So, and I think that's the biggest thing. But the rest of it is just, you try to teach as you go, and you got a bunch of guys that have kind of been there. And if you got a really young team, you really got to really take some time and make sure they understand that, again, the same things that went at home went on the road. When you have a veteran team, you remind them of what it takes, and then you lean on them for some good leadership in the locker room. So we're fortunate that we got a veteran team, and that's really last week I told you guys I wanted to see a team that was ready and excited and focused to play and looked like we had actually practiced and not slop around. And this week I want to see a team that shows some poise and some leadership and some maturity. Because I think we've got all those things, and I want to see us go do that. And so, we're playing a great team, and regardless of what the score is. They may be better than us. I don't know. We're going to find out. I want to see a team that plays with some maturity and plays with some poise and doesn't go out there and do stupid things that hurt yourself. Let's play. Like I said, with great poise and effort and focus.
Coach, these road games, special teams and turnovers are so critical. Does the fact that you were +2 in the turnover margin and nearly perfect on special teams last Saturday make you that much more optimistic?
Well, it's just one game. I hope we can put a trend together and we can become a team that's consistently wins the turnover margin. I know when we win our turnover margin, since I've been the head coach, our record's pretty good. So I hope we can be one of the better teams in the country this year. We won a national championship with a negative turnover margin. So, that's not the end all be all, but I sure like them odds a lot better when you win it. And so hopefully that can become a good identity of this team. A team that wins that margin, relentless to get the ball, relentless to take care of it, and then a team that attacks you in special teams.
injury wise, a little healthy.
Yeah, we are pretty healthy, and I actually forgot last week, but we don't have to release the injury report anymore. And I was kind of in 9-year mode last week, and I didn't think about it until after the fact. But we don't have to do the injury report anymore. We were the only conference that did it, which I didn't know. So I'm not going to give out an injury. Used to, I think I'd tell y'all we were questionable, probable, predictable, reliable, whatever, MIA. But I'm going to get away from all that, just simply because we don't have to do that, unless we got some obvious long-term type of deal or something like that. But to answer your question, we're a pretty healthy football team, going into it.
Dabo, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like in recent years y'all done a really good job of stopping horizontal stuff, whether screens or speed sweeps or pre-game. What are the key ingredients to that in your mind, and how big of a factor is having two defensive ends that are they're so long and get in the
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's great film study and preparation. It's defensive football is formation, recognition, and strategic situation. So it's in what comes off of that. So it's the formations, the alignments, the splits. It's having knowing your keys and having your eyes on those keys so that you can get tips and tendencies, things you pick up through the week. So it's not something you just show up on game day and do instinctively. It's through a lot of preparation through the week, a lot of film study, and then simulation in practice, so that you can see those keys, what those tells are, and so that's where it starts, and then it comes from experience. I mean, those D linemen, we're one of the hardest teams to screen because our guys are well coached up front, and they do such a good job of recognizing. Because typically, when you got some type of screen, the linemen are usually trying to set you, and then they're out. And our guys do a great job of reading themselves out of the rush, feeling the screen. And so, and again, a lot of it is just game plan. Usually there's some tendencies involved. And if you're really schooled up on those things, you give yourself a better chance. But certainly the athleticism of guys up front and the ability to change direction and chase, the length on the ends to make things a little more difficult in the passing lanes, and then our ability to play man coverage. I mean, when you're screening people, you gotta be able to block people, and so it's hard against tight press coverage. It's harder to pick a guy off, especially the way we coach our guys. So, we've been pretty good, and we're fast. I mean, sometimes it looks like it's fixing to hit, and the speed takes over. It'll open for a second, and then it's just. I mean, it happens to us too. We play fast defenses, and I'm like, "Heck, we got it." No, we don't. Yeah, the guys, it's like that fast. So we're a fast team. We're a well-schooled team, and that has helped us. And then we don't have a defense that we don't have the edge set. I mean, we change it up on who's responsible, but somebody's ought to be setting the edge on every call that we have.
Remember the last time you walked away from a game saying, "Man, we really struggled with that element"?
We struggled at everything at Syracuse. We didn't really do anything great. Not off the top of my head. I mean, it's been a while. Really good. I'm really proud of him. I think he was 334 yesterday. He's just really staying committed to what he's got to do. I like his energy at practice. He's in good shape. He feels good I watch him run when we do some of our conditioning stuff, and he's out front. But he played well. He did a nice job. I mean, he's still a work in progress. He's not a guy that is anywhere near his potential. But I was very encouraged. I thought he did a nice job. He knew who he had. He wasn't out there busting assignments or anything like that. He's incredibly athletic and long, but I think he got off to a good start.
Coach Renfro's always been sure-handed on punts, but now that Amari has that game under his belt and had a couple of really nice punt returns, does that make you feel pretty comfortable about him in this environment?
No question. Yeah, I mean, you get your confidence in practice, and he's practiced really well. He's been very consistent. He's been very, very consistent. So got all the confidence in the world. Confidence in Renfro. He'd be our next guy, and then DK. But DK he's got very good hands, but he's still, a little scattered. He still can be a little inconsistent with his focus from time to time. But yeah, those two guys, we got two good ones.
Because you've got so many good freshmen, is it 72 you travel with? Is it hard to find a 72, or is it pretty easy?
Well, we hadn't had to do it yet, so we'll travel more. We'll take a lot of guys. We'll take a deeper roster this week because we don't have there's no limit on non-conference games. The 72 is conference. So when we go to Georgia Tech in a couple weeks, that will be a challenge. That's going to be a tight roster, but it just kind of is what it is, and we'll have some tough discussions there on who's going to make that 72. But this week's a little easier. I'm going to take most of the scholarship guys. Just to make sure they kind of get a good experience. And then a few of the other guys that I think have earned it.
Dabo, is it common to see really highly regarded receivers step on the campus with the interest in blocking and adjusting?
Yes, it is. No, it's uncommon. No, yeah, most receivers they have the very few come in here with the mindset of DeAndre Hopkins, who actually like it. But Ross, I thought was awesome last week. The touchdown, that's great. But man, his blocking. Kelly ran untouched for big plays in the run game come from second level blocking. That's where it comes from. I mean, you can get some nice plays, do a great job on the first level, but it's the second level blocking.